Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at the new Kindle Oasis. This is a new high-end e-reader from the folks at Amazon, and it's primarily designed for downloading books that you buy from their Amazon bookstore, so it's a delivery mechanism to some degree. Now this is $289. This one costs a lot more than a number of the other Kindle devices you can get, and it actually doesn't do anything more than those devices do. So the primary selling point on this one is its form factor, maybe its leather case here, which I'll talk about in a second, and its weight. So this weighs 4.6 ounces or 131 grams. It really almost feels like one of those demo things you might see at the store that don't have any electronics in it. It really doesn't feel like it weighs much of anything. Very thin and lightweight also, but it still has a very good battery life, and it does have a bit of an improved backlight over some of the other Kindles that are out there. Now I should mention, in the interest of full disclosure, that I bought this with my own funds. No one is paying for this review. No one is reviewing this video before it is posted, and all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. However, I am a member of Amazon's Vine program, and that program sends devices to the channel for us to review on a pretty regular basis free of charge. But this device I purchased with my own funds as an Amazon Prime member that I also pay for. So this is the device here, a 6-inch e-ink display. And what I love about e-ink, and this has been on all the Kindles since the beginning, is that first of all, you've got these awesome viewing angles on it, but it also works great out in direct sunlight also. So there is a backlight on here that you can activate by tapping on its touchscreen. It has a touchscreen also, and you can go in here and turn the backlight on all the way if you just hold down the icon here. Most of the time it comes on right away. Never when I'm on camera though, when I want it to actually work. There we go. And you can adjust it down here a little bit if you want to get the backlight down a little bit, or you can shut it off completely. You can see what this looks like in complete darkness. It's very, very nice actually. It's pretty well balanced, both in its color temperature, but also in how well it lights up the entire screen. So I guess they said there's 10 LEDs on this particular one. But again, you'll notice here with the backlight off under my studio lights, it looks really nice, and you don't need a backlight at all. The one issue though is that there is no light sensor on it, which is kind of surprising given that the other Kindle that's below this one, I believe it's the Kindle Voyage, which is about $100 less, does have a light sensor which automatically adjusts that backlight depending on what your lighting conditions are. This one doesn't. So if you want to save battery, you're going to want to turn off that backlight manually by navigating to it on your touch screen here. We'll get into some of the price differences between these Kindles in a minute, because really the screen at 300 dpi is the same that's on the $100 Kindle Paperwhite as well as the $200 Kindle Voyage, but the backlight's a little bit better on this one, but that's really the only big difference between the $100 version and this one is the backlight. So you're really, again, buying weight and form factor versus anything else. There are some buttons on here so you can navigate your pages. You can configure these buttons too, but the default is that the top button will progress to the next page here, and the bottom one will go backwards. And you can also use the touch screen to do that. So I can touch the screen here and go forwards or backwards that way. You can also flip it around, and it will flip the orientation around also. So if you are a left-handed person, you can get the same functionality just by flipping the screen around, and all of those settings can be adjusted on there. Battery life so far looks pretty good. I think you'll get, if you are a heavy reader, at least a day out of this thing as you're clicking around. Obviously, the battery will be impacted depending on how bright you have the backlight turned on. So with the backlight off, you'll get better battery life and longer read times on it. You also will get better battery life if you turn off the Wi-Fi, which you can get to just by going back into the settings here and activating airplane mode. There's a version of this that costs $70 more that has a 3G radio, so you can connect and buy your books anywhere you are. But now with Wi-Fi being so available everywhere, I don't really recommend getting that version. I think the Wi-Fi version at $289 is probably the best way to go. This one has ads built in though for that $289 price tag. So when the screen is off, it'll put up a persistent display here. This doesn't consume any battery, by the way these e-ink screens work. So when it's off, even though you have something on the screen, it's actually not being powered right now because the display is persistent. These little black dots on here get turned on, and then the screen only gets powered up when you change the display here. So when I open it up again, the screen is being activated electrically to change its display, but when you turn it back off again and it changes the display again, it will just not consume any battery when it's off here. So if you don't want ads ads, though, you got to pay $20 to get those ads off when you first purchase the device. Otherwise, you will get ads on here for the $289 price tag. Now, it also comes with a really nice leather case. And this is a real leather case. It's got a nice worn look to it. There's a couple of different colors available as well. Real leather. It's not some fake synthetic thing like from the skin of a naga, the naga hide, right? And it's also got a magnetic latching mechanism here, so the Kindle attaches very nicely to it. It really fits quite nicely in here. So you do have that little bump at the bottom, but the case will fill out the rest. And what fills out that bump on here is the fact that this has an extra battery built in. So when you dock this with the case's battery will charge the Kindle. So long as the case is charged, you will always have a Kindle with some juice in it. They do say that you'll probably get months of use out of this, maybe a month or two, provided you are not a heavy reader or not doing too much with the Wi-Fi or backlight. You charge both just by plugging in the USB cable here, so that will charge the Kindle device itself as well as the case. In my testing over the last couple of days here, I haven't even really plugged it in at all, so it's been working quite well. Of course, you will get maybe a day or two of heavy reading out of this, and more, of course, if you turn the backlight off and the Wi-Fi or 3G radio off. So good battery life, and you've got the backup here with the case too. I think it could definitely get you through a vacation. It only has 4 gigabytes of onboard storage, but again, this is an e-reader, so the only things you're going to store on it are text and maybe the occasional black and white photo here. The photos do look pretty nice on it, actually. But that's what's great about these e-readers, is that that's all they do. They don't do video. They don't distract you with apps and game requests and text messages and everything else. You turn it on, you read your book. The whole world could end around you. You're not going to know it because it's not going to tell you anything other than display text that you're reading. And it works great outside. If you're on vacation, you want to read a book, you grab one of these things, sit out by the pool or whatever, and read all day long. That battery is going to last you that long, and the e-ink display looks just as good as paper does out in direct sunlight. And I think where this one kind of falls into the product line from Amazon is probably as a gift device. In other words, this might be something that you might get for the reader in your life that maybe has a Kindle or doesn't have one at all, and you want to get them something nice. This is a really nice device. It is very lightweight, a real pleasure to hold. It doesn't weigh anything. You got a really nice leather case that goes with it with the extra battery on board. And a lot of reviewers have been kind of scratching their head as to why would they sell this at such a high price when you can get the Kindle Paperwhite, for example, that has, for the most part, the same functionality, actually the identical functionality, same screen, maybe a little bit less on the backlight, maybe it's a little bit heavier, but it really is the same device inside. But I think this is really something you might get for someone when you want to get them something nice and they're a reader. This would be something I think anyone would like to get. So I think that's probably where Amazon is positioning this, is maybe as something that is a nice birthday or graduation gift. It's coming out June 1st to most of the non-Prime Amazon users, and I think that might be kind of how they're targeting this, is really at the gift-giving environment. But I think if you are a very serious reader and your arm does get tired after a long period of time holding one of the less expensive Kindles, this one is exceptionally light, lighter than most books you might buy, and really a pleasure to use. So premium device, premium price tag, but a nice gift to give for the reader in your life, and I think they've done a very nice job with this hardware. And I've really been impressed lately with the hardware that Amazon has been producing lately. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. This channel is brought to you by my Patreon supporters, including gold level supporter Shabib. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/Patreon to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/S.